welcome to Pint Sized OCR, the only podcast in the world dedicated to junior obstacle course racing and produced by UKOCR. And here's your hosts, Libbie Joyce and Finley Greenleaf.
Libbie Joyce, Finley Greenleaf, welcome to your new show, which I'm going to host the first one of, and then I'm going to let you run with it. Pint Sized OCR. Welcome, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
No, thank you. The thanks are all from me because I've been wanting to do something with juniors for a while, and I've tried to do my own podcast with them, and I reached out to you two and said, do you want to host a podcast? And you instantly come back and went, yeah. And then we got together, and here we are for we'll call this the preview episode, and that. So going to find out a little bit more about you. A lot of the community know about you, but we'll tell them about what we're going to be doing on Pint Sized OCR and where we're going to go. So where shall we start? First of all, let's go with a bit of introductions for people who don't know you. I think most people do, but we'll go ladies first. Are you happy with that, Finley?
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Ladies first. Libbie Joyce, tell us a little bit about yourself. How long you've been in OCR, geez. And I'd say what races have you done, but you've done every race out there. But just tell us a little bit about yourself. Quick overview.
Okay, so I'm 16 years old, so I'm just getting into the middle range now of the 14 to 18 age category. I've been doing OCR for about 7-8 years, maybe. Been a while now, but yeah, sport's amazing. So glad that I managed to find the sport and get into it. So
awesome. I mean, you've been all around the world. I mean literally all around the world racing, and I want to say where haven't you been? But it's probably easy to say where you haven't been. But I mean, you have been everywhere.
Yeah, I've been quite a fair few places, which I've actually quite liked doing a lot because all of the races around the world are different. So Spartans are different in different countries, so it's quite different. So you're never going to go to a Spartan race, say, here and go to, I don't know, Italy or somewhere. It's going to be different.
Where haven't you been that you want to go to?
Oh, I'm trying to think now. I don't know, because there's a couple that I've liked the look of, like Spain. I like how, seeing their races. Netherlands, I really want to go out there and have a go at racing there.
They're great.
I don't know. Brilliant. Yeah, so I don't know, because I've been trying to. We wanted to go a couple of places, but because last year was so busy, we weren't able to get there because I've had a race on most weekends. But hopefully after this year, I'll be able to go a bit more places.
Awesome. And Finley, welcome to the show. I mean, we all know you because you've both been, for juniors, you've both been racing with elite men, and elite women for quite a while now. You both are at the top of your games and that, but introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself. You've got loads of accolades and things like that.
Well, as you mentioned, I have been racing the adults the last couple of years, but I've been in OCR, I reckon, since I was about 8 or 9 probably. And that started off with the very basic stuff, like I think it was a mini mudder, my first one. So very much mud racing and things like that. And I slowly just brought myself into OCR, more competitive stuff and more technical obstacles. And yeah, the last couple of years I've been trying to catch up the adults, which is a challenge, but I've been enjoying it. And yeah, it's been slowly growing over the last couple of years. I think, I say recently, I've become a lot more competitive and I'm just out there enjoying racing.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, you was on but you was on the start line at the British champs in the elite squad, in the elite race for the men. I mean, at your age, 17 years, I'm 17. Am I right saying you're 17? 16, so it's both 16, so my fault there. Don't even know how old my guests are. 16, both 16-year-old. To be on that start line with the men at the British champs, that must have been absolutely phenomenal. And you held your own.
Oh, cheers. Yeah, it was an amazing experience to be there with so many competitive men who I know obviously have the ability. Obviously, a lot of them have been in OCR for years and years and be able to race with them and their abilities and to try and keep up with them. That was a great challenge and a great honour to be there.
Yeah, I mean, excellent. I mean, you've both been really, really well. At the beginning of the show, I touched on why we want to do it, but I want to get your opinion. So, we talked about when we reached out to you, we want to bring to the junior OCR scene. We want to bring that into the podcasting network and things like that. What are you? I'll come to you this time, Finley. What are you looking to get out of this? What do you want the youngsters to achieve by listening to you and your guidance and that? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm hoping to really get the spotlight shone on some of the youngsters, because obviously OCR is quite a new sport. We're slowly developing. And if it is a sport for the future, we need to really focus on the future and the athletes coming up. So I think the main goal here is to really shine a light on some of these young athletes that are beginning to grow. Some obviously haven't often seen, because a lot of the focus on OCRs with these adult races and the big major races, where some of the younger athletes, some of the smaller races, to often get the attention. So if we can really shine a light on these athletes and show everyone the talent they've got and the ability they've got, it'd be really nice to be able to get them out there and show them the potential and the future of our sport.
Excellent. I like that. That was very that rolled off your tongue there as well. That was like it was almost rehearsed, and I know it wasn't because I just threw that question in there. But no, thank you. Libbie, what's your thoughts? What are you wanting to do out of this? Where do you want to see it go?
I'm not going to be able to top Finn's thing now. No, 100% what Finn said. Get the youngsters into the sport, because if we don't have any youngsters, we're not going to have a sport to continue. So I think we definitely need to get the more juniors into sport, but I think we also need to get like different races wanting to make junior races, because if there isn't any races, no kids are going to fall in love with it. They're not going to want to do it because they haven't got many to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've spoke about this, quite often. I know I've spoken to parents about this, and we need events to step up and say, look, we are going to put events on for the younger generation. And we are seeing some changes, which I'm going to let you talk about in future episodes that are happening in the OCR world. We're not going to go down that route today. This is more about you guys and where we're going to go with it. But yeah, there are things changing, and we need to fetch that focus back to the next generation. As Finley said, the future. We need to separate in the future. You guys have had people you've looked up to when you've come through and things like that. I know quite recently, Libbie, you was over in America racing in the World Championships, and you got to race in a team with some of your people you looked up, some of the influences that you looked up to, and that. Tell us a bit more about that.
Oh, it was a full-on dream come true. Like, when I was first started the sport and I got into the sport more, I was like watching Lindsay, Nicole, and all the rest of them racing. I'm like, imagine running with them, against them one day. And for that to actually happen, to do a team race with Lindsay and Nicole, is just a dream. But then to come first and to get a time that was quicker than some of the one, I think it was the third place mixed place, to get a quicker time than that was just like a full-on dream.
How easy is it for someone like yourself, and I'll come to you on this one, how easy is it for someone like yourself to contact an elite racer and get that input from them? So we know Libbie's gone over and spoke to Nicole and that, and Lindsay and raced with them. But from someone else's perspective, how easy is it for you to get that influence from someone that you respected?
I think it depends. I think we look in the UK, of course, with a lot of the UKOCR series. When I was younger, I was often able to speak to a lot of people that inspired me in the UK. A lot of those adult racers that are really thriving, we had to speak to them, get advice to them, and that was really good. And not just in the UK, I think on a further scale, if you look at like the FISO World Championships, that was a really good opportunity, I think, because everyone was there. So it was a really, really good place to go speak to people and, find the inspiration. I mean, at that event when we were in Belgium, watching the elites and all them going off, people like Jessie Deher, all just flying for obstacles, smashing it. It's incredible to watch, and that is really inspiring. And to be able to see them achieve what they achieve and to have that aspiration, it's really, really good and great to see.
I agree. I mean, quite recently, over the last 5 years, we've seen someone relatively new coming to OCR in terms of Morgan Maxwell came into OCR. He was probably one of the first youngsters that's followed it through and become an amazing athlete. You know, finishing second in the UKOCR series last year, the only elite racer to complete the low rig nuclear, as in the top five, was the only one in the top five that I know of that completed it. It's great to see that. Do you think youngsters are going to look at people like yourselves and say, "Oh gosh, I want to be like Libbie, I want to be like Finley"? I'll come to you first, Libbie, on this one. Do you want to aspire for that?
And yeah, I do. Like, I would like kids to look up to me because, like, I've started from the age they've started from, and I hope that like gets them in the mindset of like, if she can get there, hopefully I can get there one day. But you have to like push to get to it, obviously. But I do hope that I like when like kids come up to me and ask questions. So like when we're at like races, I've had a couple of the juniors come up to me and go, "Can you talk me through this? I don't know what to do about this." And I'm like, "Yeah, 100%," because I like talking to the juniors about it. So I hope they do look up to me, to be honest.
Awesome. Have you had people come to you as well, Finn?
A couple of times, yeah. I've had a lot of people speak to me, especially the juniors, asking me about what I've gone through. And yeah, I'm happy to help and happy to listen, because being in that position before myself, I know it's really, really good to have support and have people help you when you're there and in that position. So I'll always try and help them and try and support them, because as someone who's been there before, I know that's what you really need. So I've had that before and always try and help.
No, it's good that. And we've got a lot of youngsters coming through. I mean, when we look at the awards and that we have going, I think this year we've got 13 or 14 youngsters that have come on that have been nominated. I mean, last year, Libbie, you won last year. You know, I mean, can you make it 2 in a row? Because I mean, this is awesome. I mean, I'll go through them all. Then you can break some of them down, but I'll go through the full list. Start with Cameron Montgomery, Charisma Baskerfield, Amelia Solomon, yourself, Finn, George Ferryman, Harry Jeffrey, Izzy Young, Jake Burgess, your younger sister, Jessie, Libbie, she's in there, Lauren MacArthur, yourself, Libbie, Oliver, Ardy, and Riley Gleason. I mean, some amazing athletes in there. I mean, this is going to be one of the most open categories in that. Let's go. I'll come to you first, Libbie. Oh, I mean, who stands out in this thing for you? I mean, they all stand out in my eyes, but you've raced against these people, you know. Well,
yeah, so there's quite a few names that stand out to me. Like, don't get me wrong, I wish all the juniors could do so well in this awards, but there is a couple that stand out to me, like Emmy. She stands out, not because she's my friend. I'm not saying that just because she's my friend, but because I've watched her grow into sport, get better into sport. From like starting last year, she wasn't like very confident to go into the Spartan World Championship, trifecta World Championships, doing age cap for the 2 days straight, and then coming out with me on the front of the beast because we weren't allowed to do it, but they still let us out, which was an opportunity, and I was so grateful for that. And watching her do the running and seeing how she's improving so much just shows that you can get better in the sport. I don't know, like they all stand out to me. Like George stands out to me because he's loves the sport. You can see that he loves it. Izzy, because she's improving. Harry, my sister, Finn, and then you got Flynn as well. Lauren, Ollie, Riley, because I run with Riley as well, and I can see him getting quicker and getting more into the running and getting into the sport more. But like all of them are just like I'm like, it's hard to choose. Like you have to like properly look at it and who do you think deserves it? That's what I look at.
Yeah, definitely. And there's a great age range in here. You know, I think the youngest on that list is about 10, and then we go right up to 16, 17s and that. It's a great age range. What about you, Finn? What's, you know, is there any shocks in that list, or would you want to add about another 20 more to it?
Oh, I wish you got more and more, honestly. I remember when I was voting, I always did my vote for the UKOCR awards, and every award went, yep, I got to that one. And I really paused that to think about, because there's so many great athletes there. I mean, some of the ones stand up for me are, of course, we've got some world champions on there. Libbie, yourself, of course, but we've also got Harry Jeffrey, who I think won the junior championship Spartan. We had Ollie, who of course was FISO 100-meter world champion for his age caps. We've got some proper good achievements there in the lot. So there's the ones that really stand out for me. I think especially Harry as well. For people who don't know, he actually trains with me at local athletics club. So I see him pretty much every week running, and he's training and pushing to the limit, and it's really good to see. And of course, he's got that world championship with him, which is amazing to see. And you see him on Instagram flying across obstacles and all sorts. So he's a really big standout for me. I'll probably also mention one of my Rumble teammates, and Flynn Stewart. I see him a lot at Rumble training, and I think he's very much underestimated because he's been in OCR, I think, for many years now, especially in like Spartan and Junior Spartan, and he's really starting to thrive. And I see him, like I say, at Rumble training, always training and pushing himself to the limit. And I think he's really underestimated, and see him nominated there is really good to see.
Yeah, me too. I would love to see this next year to have, and if anyone wants to know, we'll tell you how the junior personality here works. The shortlist is anyone who's nominated. So anyone who's nominated goes on the junior shortlist, because no one's in a position to knock anyone back. We want everyone on that junior shortlist, because it's the way it should be. So I want next year to try and get like 30, 40 names on there. Might be a nightmare for me to pronounce all names, but I think we should get there. Well, actually, next year you guys can pronounce all the names, not me.
Oh,
no. So, what we're talking about that as well. You just mentioned there about training at Rumble and that, Finley. What is that your main training? Because I know you're a club runner as well. What does your training look like in that?
So I'm a lot of running training recently, so especially in the winter now. I've got a lot into running and more of a cross-country racer right now, but of course I have to keep up my obstacles as well. So obviously Rumble's my team, so I train there quite often, but I think the main one for me is probably the PT barn, and that's obviously Scotty PT. That's more my local, that's about 40, 45 minutes away. And I don't know what else to say. Scotty's brilliant. I think as a coach, some of the sessions he does, the way he explains obstacles, that's my main place for training. And I don't know what else to say. He's just brilliant. I think it's a really good place to train, and it gets me properly going for the season. Like I say, Rumble, whenever I go there, it's a bit further for me, so I go there not as often, but when I do go there, it's always a great session. The people there, the atmosphere, and obviously the training itself, it's brilliant. So a little bit of obstacles, a little bit of running, and that's kind of working for me right now, and I'm slowly improving.
If you was going to give someone new from the junior section, one bit of advice to get better at obstacle course racing, what bit of advice would you give them? Concentrate on the running, concentrate on the obstacles, mix them up, goal training. What's your thoughts?
It's really tough, I think, because it's such a diverse sport, different obstacles. You got obviously technical stuff, you got weights, you got your running. It's really hard. I think it depends the person it is. I think it's really good kind of just see how you feel almost. Just slowly get into it, build it up, and then to listen to those around you, those with experience, to get their support. Like I want to mention my team, but with Dave, it's absolutely amazing having him there. He often gives me advice and has told me what I can improve on. Like I know recently from racing the adults, the strength stuff and all the weights is definitely my weakness. So for me, that's something I've been trying to improve on and help myself get better for the future. So I think for the youth, you really need just to listen to those around you, get as much advice as you can and pay attention to it, and just see how you go along. Because I think sometimes it's really tough because you get to a point and you don't know. It can be tough to try and keep pushing and keep training, but I think you just keep listening to that advice and you keep going, and eventually it all just click together.
Yeah, good point. What about you, Libbie? Where are you training at the moment? Because I know you visit quite a lot of training places. Where are you currently training?
Oh, at the minute, nowhere, because everything's like a good hour plus away from me. So it's quite hard for me to train. Like I get my running in, I've got Cannock Chase on my doorstep. It's the best place for my running training, really is, because it's got all the trains you need there. But obstacle wise, there's nothing really close to me. The closest one will have to be Rumble, which I actually there. I love it there with everything. It's just so good. But then Field Fit as well. Because Jack's my coach, but because it is such a good place to train at.
When you was starting to get decent at it, Libbie, and then Jack turned your wing. Did you see a big difference from you doing it then to having a specific coach? Did you see that leap?
Yeah, I did actually. It was quite a good leap of it. But like it's good to have my coach there, mainly because he'll be able to tell me when I need to push, when not to push too much. But like it is good. I have remembered there is a place near me which is good to train at, is the obstacle gym, Griff's place.
Yeah.
Which it's a good place because you've got a field area which you can run around and get that field training in, but he's also got wooded area as well, which to get the technical training in. So yeah, that's a good place as well.
The obstacle gym is leaps and bounds. I know they're putting new obstacles in very, very soon. They're widening the course, and they are actually going to have. I don't know if this is embargoed or not, but I'm going to say it anyway. They're going to have a 3K race coming up soon. So places into it. I don't know if it's embargoed. I got told. I don't know. If it's embargoed, I'm sorry. I'll apologise later. There we go. What's 2024? Let's talk 2024. So we talked about this, and we're going to be talking quite often on these night ones. Well, you guys are going to be talking, and you're going to have people on and that. What are you wanting out? Let's go racing first. 2024 racing, Finn. What we're racing in 2024? What's the big aims?
Oh, the main target would probably be the UKOCR league again.
Yeah,
I think last year that was really enjoyable, good range of races between technical and more running based. So I really want to focus on that this year. I want to try and get my first podium in the adults because I've been fighting for that. I've got a couple of fourth places, a couple of fifths. I really want to try and get a podium this year. But I think the main
where do you think your best bet is for that? Where do you think your best bet? Because we know there's certain races, and I don't mean it in no disrespect, but if we go to the British Champs, you're going to get the 10 best races in the country turn up to it. Maybe another event you might get 5 or 6, and you can push him for that podium. Then, I mean, what were you in the UKR series? I don't know, where were you in the UKOCR series this year? Was you top 10?
Ninth in the end, I think. Yeah. So yeah, not too bad. I think the main race for me will probably be. There's a couple I like. I think the big two is probably nuts, especially summer nuts. Not as much of a fan of the cold, but I love that 7K format with a little bit of technical. I think going through the water is really fun. It's a race I enjoy. It's got all sorts. So nuts are my main ones. But also I think it's Tartan Warrior in the UK one, isn't it, as well?
Tartan Warrior, yes. Up at Gavin's gym in March.
Yeah, perfect. I loved that last year. That was a great race. So going up there again, I really enjoyed that. I think I got a 4th there last time. So push up one more spot would be really nice. I really enjoyed that race. So we'll go over something good there. And yeah, wait and see. And hope it all plans out well.
Excellent. What about you, Libbie, race-wise this year?
To be fair, I haven't really been looking too much into my racing at the minute. Like training is, because I've been in winter training, I've been just focused on my training at the minute. So I've been doing that. But OCR WC, I'm 100% going back to that at Mammoth. That was just an amazing race overall. It suited me a lot, so I'd 100% be going back to that one.
Excellent. And you got a title defend, don't you? There's a title there to defend.
Yeah, hopefully we can defend it.
Yeah, everyone will be wanting to come on your team now for a world champion.
Yeah, I'll also be going for that 15K. That will be the main race is getting that 15K because it's hopefully we can keep my band this year.
Yeah, excellent. No, fantastic. Have you got any before we let you go, because we're going to keep this Pint Sized OCR, we're going to keep them nice and short for this first one, and we're going to be back in about a month's time with a proper one. Have you lined up any guests for us? Are you going to get any sneak peek? Because I'm sure you will have both been putting feelers out by now. Are you going to keep it all secret and then let us know later?
I don't know.
I've been hinting to a couple of people, but I don't want to reveal that yet. That's all surprise, everyone listening. You've got to wait and find out. I'm not going to reveal it. just yet, but
Guess we're waiting.
yeah, wait and see, people.
It's waiting and waiting
Have
and
to wait and see.
Cool, guys. I'm so pleased you've joined us to do this and everything else, and we're going to be going forward, and we're going to be putting this out on a regular basis, both on YouTube, and on podcasting. So patrons, you'll get it to it much earlier than everyone else, unless you're going to watch it on YouTube and you get to see it a little bit later. But yeah, everyone listen to us. I'll leave the last words to you guys. You've also got to come up with a theme tune. You know, I am.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, that's
And this has got to come out quite quickly.
that's a new challenge in itself. That's worse than half the obstacles we've had to race this year. Jesus.
Oh, geez, no, that's gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to think now.
Yeah,
It's got to be a good one.
no singing. That's not I'm confirming though. Nothing like that.
Guys, thank you for coming on. It's been much appreciated. I'll leave it to you to say goodbye to your listeners.
Thank you guys for listening, and see you at the next one.
Cheers, everyone. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you for listening to Pint Sized OCR, produced and presented by UKOCR. If you like what you hear, please subscribe or leave us a review. And you can even get your parents to join our Patreon train so you can get your podcasts earlier than everyone else.
So alive, make it last forever. Stop in time.